What is SM? I'm glad you asked. The best way is to show you. SM has evolved into a lot of things, especially for the modern Filipino. Everybody knows SM is shopping, retail stores, and groceries accessible to all, with an unmatched shopping experience and dedicated customer service.
Happy to serve!
Over the years, SM has become the go-to spot for, well, pretty much everything. Whatever you need, they've got it all for you. It's a way of life. It is where families find comfort and communities are built. A place where everything they need is within reach. At SM, every day is filled with joy and togetherness. Whether it's with people you grew up with or the people you met along the way, everyone here is treated like family. SM is here to grow with you through accessible financial services, inclusive banking, and strategic investments. SM empowers individuals and businesses to grow at every level, supporting dreams and transforming visions into reality. SM is built on partnerships and communities coming together to improve lives and create opportunities. From global brands to homegrown enterprises, SM is where business ideas flourish. Beyond business, SM brings people together to support, empower, and uplift the lives of many. To build a sustainable future for all. A future where everyone is seen, heard, and valued. By creating spaces and experiences that make life easier, smarter, and more connected. By anticipating the evolving needs of Filipinos, SM continues to improve everyday lives, ensuring that everyone has access to world-class service and opportunities. At its core, SM is people coming together, working together, building together. This is SM.
To all our guests, may we request everyone to kindly settle down. All participants are requested to be in their respective seats at 2:15 in preparation for the annual meeting, which will begin at 2:30 p.m. We would also like to inform our guests to please turn off your cell phones or place them in silent mode, not on vibrate mode, and this is to ensure that no unnecessary sounds are heard by the viewers. Thank you.
What is SM? I'm glad you asked. The best way is to show you. SM has evolved into a lot of things, especially for the modern Filipino. Everybody knows SM is shopping, retail stores, and groceries accessible to all, with an unmatched shopping experience and dedicated customer service.
Happy to serve!
Over the years, SM has become the go-to spot for, well, pretty much everything. Whatever you need, they've got it all for you. It's a way of life. It is where families find comfort and communities are built. A place where everything they need is within reach. At SM, every day is filled with joy and togetherness. Whether it's with people you grew up with or the people you met along the way, everyone here is treated like family. SM is here to grow with you through accessible financial services, inclusive banking, and strategic investments. SM empowers individuals and businesses to grow at every level, supporting dreams and transforming visions into reality. SM is built on partnerships and communities coming together to improve lives and create opportunities. From global brands to homegrown enterprises, SM is where business ideas flourish. Beyond business, SM brings people together to support, empower, and uplift the lives of many. To build a sustainable future for all. A future where everyone is seen, heard, and valued. By creating spaces and experiences that make life easier, smarter, and more connected by anticipating the evolving needs of Filipinos, SM continues to improve everyday lives, ensuring that everyone has access to world-class service and opportunities. At its core, SM is people coming together, working together, building together. This is SM.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here in person at the Lanson place. And to those participating via Zoom, we will begin our annual stockholders meeting with an invocation to be followed by the Philippine National Anthem. We will now like to request all our guests to please rise for the invocation and please remain standing for the Philippine National Anthem.
Let us bow our heads as we put ourselves in the presence of our dear Lord. Heavenly Father, we thank you for everyone gathered here today. We ask for your blessings and guidance so that the activities set for this undertaking will be successful. We ask you to open our eyes to see the wonderful things from this activity. We ask you to open our ears so that we may retain the invaluable knowledge that we will learn. Open our minds for us to think wisely. Give us understanding, cooperation, and peace in fulfilling our responsibilities. Open our heart so that we may receive your everlasting love, and open our spirit so that we may know that you are with us all throughout the day. All these we ask in the most holy and mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
May we request everyone to please be seated. Hello everyone. Good afternoon. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. I am Rico Hizon, your host and moderator, and we would like to welcome everyone to the 2026 Annual Stockholders Meeting of SM Investments Corporation. We would also like to welcome our board of directors who are joining us this afternoon. Our chairman of the board, Mr. Amando M. Tetanco Jr. Our vice chairpersons, Ms. Teresita T.C. and Mr. Henry T.C. Jr. Mr. Harley T.C., Executive Director. Mr. Robert G. Vergara, Independent Director. Mr. Ramon M. Lopez, Independent Director. Ms. Lily K. Gruba, Independent Director. Ms. Marife B. Zamora, Independent Director. And our President and Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Frederick C. Debuncio. And ladies and gentlemen, we would also like to acknowledge the presence of our advisors to the board, Ms. Elizabeth T.C., Mr. Hans T.C., Mr. Herbert T.C., Mr. Gregory L. Domingo, Ms. Tomasa H. Lipana, and Mr. Joseph Fay. Also with us is our Chairman Emeritus, Mr. Jose T. Sio. Our Corporate Secretary, Attorney Elmer B. Serrano. Our Assistant Corporate Secretary and Senior Vice President for Legal, Attorney Arthur A. C. And our Executive Vice President for Finance, Mr. Franklin C. Gomez. Maraming salamat po for joining us for this very important event. And now I turn over the meeting to our chairman, Mr. Amando M. Tetanco Jr.
Good afternoon to our shareholders and guests. Welcome to the 2026 Annual Stockholders Meeting of SM Investments Corporation. We're pleased to see you all again this year, especially those present with us here in Saffron Grand Ballroom. Welcome, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, the annual stockholders meeting of SM Investments Corporation is now called to order. Mr. Secretary, please certify to notice and quorum.
Yes, Mr. Chair, and good afternoon to everyone. In compliance with the rules issued by the Securities and Exchange Commission, I certify that notice of this meeting, along with a definitive information statement and the company's guidelines for remote participation and voting in absentia, were uploaded on the PSE Edge and posted on the company's website, beginning March 24, 2026. In addition, the notice was published on March 24 and 25, 2026, both in print and online formats in the business section of the Philippine Daily Inquirer and the Business World. Mr. Chair, based on the record of registration, the stockholders who are participating in this meeting in person, virtually, and by proxy represent 1,069,016,719 common shares, constituting 87.70% of the total outstanding capital stock of the company as of record date, March 30, 2026. I therefore certify, Mr. Chair, that we have a quorum for today's meetings. We would also like to inform the stockholders that representatives of CISIP, Gores Velayo and Company, or SGV, the corporation's external auditor, are present. SGV has been engaged as third-party tabulator of votes cast for today's meeting. Finally, we'd like to inform our shareholders and other participants that this meeting is being recorded, and for good order's sake, we will have our open forum at the end of the meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. The next item in the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the last annual stockholders meeting. Mr. Secretary, were copies of the minutes provided to all stockholders?
Yes, Mr. Chair. The minutes were posted on the company's website soon after its adjournment last year. A copy of the minutes was also appended to the definitive information statement posted on PSE Edge and on the company's website and available to our shareholders for downloading. The minutes reflect the proceedings of the last annual meeting, including resolutions adopted and approved with a corresponding tabulation of votes for each item.
Thank you. The minutes of the last meeting are being presented for approval. The floor is now open for any motion.
Mr. Chair, good afternoon. I am Sebastian Tesorero. I move for the approval of the minutes of the last stockholders meeting and that all unqualified votes be cast in favor of the approval.
Mr. Chair, I am Nika Atun and I second the motion.
Thank you. There being no objection, the motion is carried and the minutes are approved. Mr. Secretary, please ensure that the minutes of today's meeting reflect the tabulation of votes for all agenda items requiring stockholder approval.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
The next item in the agenda is the President's report and approval of the 2025 annual report and audited financial statements. May we call on our Executive Vice President for Finance, Mr. Franklin C. Gomez, to deliver the President's report.
Good afternoon, shareholders. We are pleased to share with you the performance of the SM Group for 2025. Despite a more challenging macro environment last year, the group delivered solid results. Let me walk you through some of the key milestones. Financially, SM Investments delivered another year of solid growth despite trade uncertainty, domestic political noise, and unusually bad weather, especially in the second half. Our consolidated earnings grew by 10% to 90.5 billion, while revenues increased by 4% to 682 billion. Banking remained the largest earnings contributor at 49%, followed by property at 27%, retail at 18%, and portfolio investments at 6%. Our balance sheet remains conservative with a net debt to equity ratio of 30/70, even as our consolidated assets grew 7% to 1.8 trillion. Among our operational highlights were SM Prime opened 2 new malls in Lawag and in La Union, extending our footprint in northern Luzon. We also opened SM City Xiamen Haikang in China. SM Prime also introduced the Signature Series by SM Residences for premium homes and completed the sand placement in its 360-hectare Pasay reclamation project. SM Retail opened 490 new stores, with Minimart chain Alphamart adding 280 to reach 2,309 locations nationwide. We also added 2 SM stores, 16 supermarkets, and 192 specialty stores led by Dyson, Miniso, and Crocs. Our network stands at 4,831 SM-owned stores today. In banking, China Bank rejoined the PSE index this year. BDO expanded its loans faster than the industry average and raised $500 million in 5-year senior notes, plus 115 billion in ASEAN sustainability bonds, both of which were oversubscribed. In our portfolio businesses, To Go Group launched its Manila-Siargao route and delivered good profitability in all of its business lines as it focused on driving growth momentum. Philippine Geothermal Production Company continued to explore geothermal opportunities in 6 additional sites beyond its 2 operating steam fields. Alongside business growth, we advanced environmental and sustainability initiatives, pushing ahead on carbon reduction, water recycling, plastics reuse, and waste management. We adopted IFRS sustainability standards earlier than required for clear reporting at international best standards. Our foundations granted 870 new scholarships and built or upgraded several new schools, health and wellness centers nationwide to deliver practical community impact in 2025. Last year also marked our 20th anniversary as a public company. In 2005, when we listed, we had 19 malls. As of end 2025, we have 89 malls in the Philippines and 9 in China. From 55 retail stores, we have grown to 4,831. We had 361 bank branches when we listed, and 2,545 today. We have grown total group assets from 169 billion to 1.8 trillion. This growth came from steady planning and execution. The numbers prove that our model works over time and has lasting impact. Markets change, but our businesses stay entrepreneurial and work closely together with a focus on long-term impact, and that's our edge. SM's strategy rests on 5 clear strengths First, we are a conglomerate that operates with deliberate and unique synergies. Our retail, banking, and property businesses work closely together to serve Filipino customers. Our malls house our retail businesses, which help ensure high mall occupancy and allow retail to operate with minimal capital needs. Our banks support our mall tenants and also the suppliers of our retailers. All our businesses work together to understand and deliver the evolving needs of our millions of customers and the community. These synergies are built into our operations, creating entrenched advantages. They boost each business and deliver strong, diversified, and recurring cash flows as a group. Second, we keep a conservative and resilient balance sheet. Our low debt levels allow us to operate with stability across economic cycles. This lets us handle downturns and seize opportunities, as we did during the pandemic when we continued to grow our portfolio and expanded our footprint because we had the resources to do so. Third, we ensure high standards of governance and sustainability. These are embedded in how we think and run our businesses. Being responsible helps us manage risks, build trust, and support our long-term results. We regularly win international awards in these areas, validating our high standards both in Asia and globally. Our board is majority composed of independent directors, led by an independent chair. This is a rarity in Asia. Their experience and independent oversight pairs well with our entrepreneurial and hands-on management, together strengthening the group. Fourth, we are a long-term value compounder. We build value steadily. We build businesses that are recurring income generators, whether in malls, in core banking, or in retail. Even our newer businesses, such as high-end office buildings, geothermal renewable energy, and logistics, contribute to 90% of our group earnings coming from recurring sources. These generate strong cash flows that we reinvest back into the businesses for long-term gains, true to the approach of our founder, Henry C. Sr. And the value of our businesses compound over time as we reinvest. Fifth, we are committed to the Philippines. We see huge room to grow due to an under-penetrated market. Young, favorable demographics, rising incomes, and expanding financial inclusion. These provide a long runway for future growth for all our businesses. These 5 points sum up our edge. We continue to learn and adapt, but we do so while sticking to what works. As the parent company, SM Investments has a distinct role in our group and unique proposition to investors. We own controlling stakes in all our businesses in our ecosystem. But SM Investments is more than just the sum of the parts. This is because of our access to the unlisted SM retail business, our upside from all the group synergies, and our strong cash flow generation. First, we own direct exposure to the largest and most diverse retail business in the country. SM Retail caters to the many needs of Filipinos in all segments of society across a wide range of price points and categories of goods. Its formats include grocery stores that range from small neighborhood mini-marts to large destination hypermarkets, as well as SM department stores and leading retailers in household, electronics, fashion, sports, beauty, toys, babies, pets, and more. Foreign partners work with SM because we can help them serve the Filipino consumer, and our retail partnerships include Ace Hardware, Watson's, Uniqlo, Dyson, Crate & Barrel, Levi's, Crocs, Miniso, FitFlop, and Disney Store, to name a few. SM Retail serves millions of Filipino consumers whose consumption spending delivers over 2/3 of the country's GDP. Our retail arm delivers consistent high returns and cash. Second, we capture all the group benefits. Each of our subsidiary businesses benefits from some of the group synergies. At the parent, we also invest in new ventures like logistics and renewable energy that add to the ecosystem and make it stronger. Third, we churn out reliable cash across cycles. Listed units like SM Prime, BDO, and China Bank drive most of the group's earnings and will keep doing so. But most of the cash flows come from our non-listed assets, especially retail. And investors can only access this cash engine room through the parent company. On top of the dividends we also regularly receive from the listed subsidiaries. Last year at the parent, we generated total revenues of close to 43 billion, up 22% on 2024. In the last 5 years, our parent dividends grew from 5 billion in 2021 to 16 billion in 2025. This is a compound growth of over 32% year on year. And since listing, we have delivered 149 billion in dividends to shareholders in total. This strong cash flow gives us the ability to do several things. Invest in growth without financial strain. Keep debt low and maintain a strong balance sheet. Indeed, in recent years, we have brought down our debt levels. Buy assets when there are good opportunities, and return cash to shareholders via higher dividends, which on a per share basis were up 44% last year. And share buybacks, where we have bought back over 10 million shares as of today. These are possible because of our strong position of cash generation that flows uniquely to the parent. As a conglomerate, we are clear on how we create significant long-term value. We will continue as an owner of growing, synergistic businesses to nurture them and to bring focus as an operator, not only as an armchair financial investor. Our approach builds strong businesses, and those businesses deliver strong financial results. At the same time, we stay disciplined on costs and focus on investments and the use of our capital. We reward investors with cash returns in the near term and with considerable earnings growth, asset growth, and value creation in the long term. We plan far ahead with greater reach into more provinces in all our businesses, and with the upside from big generational asset-creating projects like our Manila Bay reclamation. Let me summarize. We are SM. Our group is solid. Growth plans are clear. Our approach and focus are disciplined. And as the parent company, SM Investments has a distinct position based on our unlisted assets, our full group synergies, and our reliable growing cash, plus the growth benefits from our listed subsidiaries. Last year was another solid year for us, marked by record earnings and continued expansion. I'd like to thank you all, our stakeholders, our suppliers, our partners, shareholders, customers, and employees. We believe the next 20 years will match the strong story of the last 20. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. I will now entertain a motion for approval of the 2025 annual report and audited financial statements of the company.
Mr. Chair, good afternoon. I'm Monica Soria. I move for the approval of the 2025 annual.
Undertaking resulted in the decrease of our cash and cash equivalent from 112 billion to 101 billion 847. And may I know if there is a board approval for this, for the buying of these shares by the company?
May I request Mr. Gomez to answer the question?
The increase in our treasury shares is really a direct result of the share buyback that was approved formally last year, where we set aside 60 billion pesos to buy back our shares.
Excuse me, sir. We have an open forum. We will ask that question at the proper time later during the annual shareholders meeting. Thank you very much. Can we now proceed, Mr. Chair?
Thank you, Mr. Ison. We were at the approval of the annual report and the audited financial statements for 2025. There was a motion that was being raised earlier.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I move for the approval of the 2025 annual report and the audited financial statements of SMIC, and that all unqualified votes be cast in favor of the approval.
Mr. Chair, I second the motion.
Thank you. There being no objection, the motion is carried and the 2025 annual report and audited financial statements are approved. Ladies and gentlemen, we had the board meeting earlier today, and I am pleased to announce that your board has approved the declaration of cash dividends amounting to approximately 20.7 billion pesos, or 17 pesos per share, in favor of all stockholders of record as of May 14, 2026. And this is payable on May 28, 2026. This represents a 31% increase on a dividend per share basis using the December 31, 2025 share price of SMIC. This 17 pesos dividend per share represents a yield of 2.4%, which would be higher at current market share prices. This marks the 5th consecutive year SM increased dividends and comes on top of the 44% increase in dividend per share last year. We intend to provide greater returns to shareholders. Our businesses provide us with strong, diverse, and reliable cash flows that enable us to do so while also growing our businesses and maintaining a strong balance sheet. The next item in the agenda is the approval and ratification of all acts of the Board of Directors, the board committees, and management during their terms of office. The collective efforts of the board, its committees, and management are the key success factors of the company's 2025 performance. A summary of these acts is found in the company's definitive information statement. I will now entertain a motion for approval.
Mr. Chair, I move for the ratification of the acts of the board, its committees, and management during their terms of office, and that all unqualified votes be cast in favor of their approval.
I second the motion, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. There being no objection, the motion is carried. The acts of the Board of Directors, the board committees, and management during their terms of office are therefore ratified and approved. We now go to the election of directors for 2026 to 2027. In accordance with the corporation's bylaws, the Corporate Governance and Sustainability Committee has pre-screened and shortlisted all candidates qualified and nominated to the Board of Directors. May we request the Corporate Secretary, Attorney Elmer B. Serrano, to please read the names of the nominees qualified to be elected to the Board.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Pursuant to the corporation's bylaws, the Corporate Governance and Sustainability Committee pre-screened and qualified the following nominees for election to the Board of Directors for the year 2026 to 2027. Mr. Armando M. Titanco as Independent Director. Ms. Teresita T.C., Mr. Henry T.C. Jr., Mr. Harley T.C., Mr. Frederick C. Dibuncio, Mr. Robert G. Vergara as Independent Director, Mr. Ramon M. Lopez as Independent Director, Ms. Lily K. Gruba as Independent Director, and Ms. Marife B. Zamora as Independent Director.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chair, I move that all unqualified votes be cast equally amongst the nominees, and those nominated be declared as directors of the board.
The motion having been made and seconded, all unqualified votes are cast equally in favor of the nominees, and those nominated are hereby declared elected directors. Thank you, and congratulations to the newly elected members of the Board of Directors. We now proceed to the appointment of the corporation's external auditor. Mr. Secretary, please discuss briefly.
Yes, Mr. Chair. The Audit Committee processed and pre-screened nominations for external auditor and recommends the reappointment of CSIP, Gores Velayo and Company, or SGV, as external auditor of the corporation for the fiscal year 2026.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I will now entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move for the approval of the reappointment of SGV as external auditor of SMIC for the fiscal year 2026, and that all unqualified votes be cast in favor of the approval.
I second the motion.
Thank you. There being no objection, the motion is carried. SGV is therefore reappointed as external auditor of the company for 2026. We will now proceed to our open forum. I now turn over the floor to our moderator, Mr. Rico Hizon.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. For good order, the floor will be first open to persons attending in person. We have already a list of people who will be asking questions. If there are no questions or comments from the floor, we will proceed to respond to questions and/or remarks sent prior to the meeting via email and the question and answer panel. As provided in the corporation's ASM notice, stockholders attending remotely were given the opportunity to send their questions or remarks prior to the meeting by sending an email bearing the subject ASM 2026 Open Forum to asm at sminvestments.com not later than April 27th, 2026. Shareholders were also allowed to send their questions or comments through the chat box of this ongoing live stream. For your questions or comments to be entertained, it is required that you indicate your full name as it appears in the corporation's records. We will now proceed to open the floor for any questions or comments from our shareholders attending in person. We have a gentleman who will be asking a question on floor. Please go ahead. Please proceed.
I would just like to ask, how is SM positioned to manage the ongoing geopolitical pressures?
May I request Mr. Gomez, EVP for Finance? The chairman.
Thank you for that question. I'd say that our approach rests on three simple anchors that have guided us through past disruptions. First, we maintain a disciplined balance sheet, keeping debt at manageable levels and liquidity sufficient, so we have room to act when conditions tighten. Second, we are diversified across retail, property, banking, and other investments, which helps cushion shocks that may affect one part of the business more than others. Third, we secure access to capital, both domestic and international, well ahead of need, not in the middle of stress. We also recognize that today's environment is less about temporary shocks and more about recurring volatility. Volatility is now a feature of the operating environment. This means staying liquid, pacing investments carefully, and keeping enough flexibility to act when opportunities arise. In practical terms, it allows us to invest when conditions are weak, not just when they are favorable.
Thank you.
Our investments in energy reflect this discipline. With solar capacity across our malls, we reduce our exposure to swings in global energy prices. More broadly, this underscores a simple principle. Resilience is built ahead of time, not in the middle of a disruption.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, SM has increased dividends again this year. What gives you the confidence to continue returning higher cash to the shareholders, especially given the current economic climate?
Mr. Gomez?
This year we are increasing dividends again, as just announced, to 17 pesos a share. This is an increase of 31% compared to last year. And again, that is on top of the 44% increase in dividends that we announced in 2025. So in total, we are bringing total dividends to 21 billion from 16 billion in 2025. So our group really generates significant cash, particularly from our retail business and the banks, and that accrues to SM Investments and the parent. And these cash flows are really diverse and reliable. So among the uses of this steady cash flow generation is the ability to give the returns to shareholders regularly. But we can still invest in growth, mainly through our listed subsidiaries, and maintain a strong, conservative balance sheet, as we have always done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for all of those questions. Thank you, Mr. Chair and Mr. Gomez. And that basically concludes our question and answer portion. For questions not addressed this afternoon, our investor relations team will endeavor to answer them via email. I now turn you over back to Chair.
Mr. Secretary, is there any other item in the agenda?
There are no other matters, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. There being no other matter in the agenda, I will now entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chair, I move to adjourn the meeting.
Second, Mr. Chair.
The meeting is now adjourned. We thank everyone who participated in this meeting and those who joined us remotely this afternoon. And for those in attendance today, we have arranged snacks for the occasion, and everybody is invited to enjoy the refreshments. Stay safe, everyone.
Thank you very much to everyone who has joined us for this 2026 annual shareholders meeting of SM Investments Corporation. We would also like to invite our friends from the media who are here with us inside the ballroom to please now proceed to the third floor at the TRB room for the media briefing. Thank you to all our attendees today and have a pleasant afternoon. But before we end, we would like to have a photo opportunity. May we request everyone to please rise and move up front here on stage. May we request everyone to please move up here. May we request Mr. Sio, Mr. Hans. Okay. We'll have first the board of directors. May we request our friends from the media to please proceed to the third floor for your questions, to your answers. 3RB room, third floor. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for joining us for the 2026 Annual Stockholders Meeting of SM Investments. Let's give them a big round of applause. Maraming salamat po and good afternoon. To our media friends, once again, please proceed to the third floor of the TRB room. For our media friends, you can ask all your questions at the third floor of the TRB room. Please proceed. There is a lot of snacks and drinks for everybody. Thank you.